Hi, everyone. This podcast is very controversial. Is putting criminals in prison the right thing to do? Will that rehabilitate them? Will that make them better people? Most crime committed is against our birthright. Our birthright is to live free and to cause the least harm. Actually, cause no harm to anyone, but trying to cause the least harm we possibly can, to live with love. That means that we don't cause a little harm to a human by punching them just a little bit. That doesn't make any sense. I'm talking about trying to minimize the harm that we cause to other life forms. That does not mean that a little bit of dairy in chocolate is a little harm. It's a lot of harm, because when we add up all the little pieces of milk in each chocolate bar and the millions and millions and millions and millions of chocolate bars that are sold around the world, there's a lot of violence. So it's a lot, actually. It's not a little. Causing the least harm means that we cause the least harm, as in trying to harvest fruit and vegetables gently as possible. Trying to do the least harm when it comes to pets. So doing the best that we can to minimize the harm to them. Trying to treat them as we want to be treated ourselves the best that we can. I mean, there is harm still caused by owning pets, having pets in our midst. For example, they're not totally free. So in that sense, we're still, in a way, harming them. Criminals, a lot of times, they do things that are against the law meaning human law, and a lot of human laws are unjust. For example, visa violations when someone goes to another country and they're peacefully just minding their own business. They're tending to their garden or just traveling and meeting people and families and different cultures and not causing harm directly to anyone. Then those people should be allowed to stay where they please. When we think about criminals, a lot of criminals are innocent. They're innocent. They should not be in jail. It's only the people that have harmed others directly. What we must understand about criminals is that they're just programmed. They're just a part of their environment, the culture. Why are they put into jail? If they have harmed somebody, yes, there's a consequence for that. But if there is no harm being done to anyone, then why should that person go to prison? Again, country borders and police officers and the laws of man, it's against our birthright to live free. And we're not free. When we're babies, we're so trusting of this world, of our parents. We're so trusting of everyone to teach us. As soon as we hit teenage years, we've already been conditioned by our culture and everything in our culture and everyone within our culture. And things like that. Just each and every day do the same things. Go to work, come home, eat a meal, go to bed, take all these pharmaceuticals and supplements and what else have you, and go to the hospital for checkups and the dentist for checkups and all this stuff. Since we were born, we're trusting our culture. And we continue trusting our culture. And we continue believing everything that our culture tells us because we were programmed like that. And so eventually we also see all these materialistic ads on TV to buy cars and to eat these fast food burgers and hot dogs and pizzas and you name it. And then also to take the pharmaceuticals and to take the supplements that we need because of our bad diets. And then we're going to jobs that we really don't like. And we're working very long hours to pay for the things that we really don't need, that really don't make us happy. And on top of that, we're eating the foods that were not meant to be eaten because we just don't have the time or don't have the energy to make wholesome, healthy meals. We condemn good, healthy foods. So we take coffees and colas, then we take sleeping pills, and we take all kinds of medications, and we do all sorts of crazy things day in and day out our rest of our lives. And some of us get fed up with it, we commit suicide or rob someone or stores, or we just continue buying materialistic items like TVs and cars and all sorts of things that we truly don't need, then the consequence of all that is to put so-called bad people into prisons and thinking that that is going to solve the crisis that we're facing on this earth. It starts in childhood, and we're taught to get a job, and we're taught to work for money, and we're taught to work more and more and more hours because everything just keeps going up. It's all created artificially. The bankers are printing more money. We're seeing all the ads for fancy stuff that we don't need on television, and that's killing us and making us sick. That is going on day in and day out. We're getting stressed, we're getting depressed, we're taking all the medications, we're eating unhealthy foods. We think we're eating healthy, we think we know everything, but in fact we don't. If we're not vegans or fruitarians, then we don't know. At least stop consuming all animal products and products containing animal ingredients. Stop seeing non-human animals as property and food. Getting back to putting criminals in prison. What we need to understand about true criminals, I'm talking about the people that are harming others directly. These people are, again, conditioned from society. And years and years and years and years of getting all the stress and depression and working and eating the bad food with little nutrition and all this stuff and the whole culture in itself. Some of us, anyways, we don't have that fancy car that someone else has, so we have to go out and steal it, or we have to go out and make some kind of drug money in order to buy that car that we really don't need. That's the whole purpose of life, get a big car, get a big house, and it'll make you happy. And on top of that, eat the same way as everybody else because you don't want to be a nonconformist. You don't want to stray away from the crowd. We want to conform. So we conform and just do what everybody else is doing, and we don't question anything because our culture doesn't tell us to question. Intelligence is the ability to make connections, and we cannot make connections, especially when it comes to our food choices. But there are some that eventually become violent and harm others, either verbally or physically. When we physically harm another human being, we are considered a criminal. We're put behind bars, or at least we're tried in a court of law. We need to first address violence, not keep throwing people in prison. It's not going to solve anything. We cannot address people killing other people. We have to address the actual underlying cause of violence. Now we have to also understand that all violence is interconnected. So the violence that we cause to humans is very similar and interconnected to the violence that we cause to other animals. There is no doubt that we cannot have human peace on this earth unless we have peace with other animals. So the meat, dairy, and eggs that we're consuming, and the honey, and seeing other animals as property, and for entertainment purposes, and for clothing, and so forth, this is the core of the issue. We will not see other humans as things we just want to kill. We don't want to kill other humans if we are not killing or supporting the killing and the theft and the use of other animals. If we are vegans, if we do not cause harm to other animals, we are not going to cause harm to other humans. I've never heard of any vegan or fruitarian wanting to harm another human. Maybe they harm humans with their words. Sometimes you see and you hear angry vegans out there, but never do you see another vegan or fruitarian or even breatharian physically harming another human. Now there may be the rare case here and there. What veganism is all about is love for all life. Now again, there may be the angry vegans that in words do not like humans or wish they all were extinct, but for the most part, veganism is all about unconditional love for all life, for all the beings on this earth. So when we put criminals into prisons, we feel like, okay, we're going to be putting criminals into prisons, and that's going to solve everything. We should put all the criminals into prisons. But the thing is, if you really think about it, except for vegans, we're all criminals. We are harming non-human animals every single day with our food choices. When we use animals, when we steal from them, it is not a good thing. When we steal from non-human animals, when we kill them, when we use them for anything, what we're doing is we see them as property. We see them as things to be used. Animals are not things to be used. Non-human animals are living beings of their own, have the right to live free in nature without human interference and human domination. The only thing that we are meant to do is to care and protect them, but to let them be free at the same time. So pets are not free. And even if we let them go out, they're not truly free. And there are a lot of negative implications to owning pets, which you can learn more about in my newest book, Return to the Gentle Sea, for the love that lives in everyone. There is no benefit from throwing people in prison. Yes, maybe a very small percentage of people that are thrown into prisons will awaken and maybe stop causing the harm, but for the majority part of it, it doesn't really help anyone. It actually harms people. What we need to do is we need to address the cause of the violence, which is consuming animals, the consumption of animals and animal products, seeing animals as property and food. People will ask me, how do we expect if somebody harms somebody else? How do we solve that problem? There's no magic bullet solution. We have to teach that person love. We need to be vegan, and then we need to get other people going vegan. That's how we solve the problems in this world. Please post your comments down below. Share it around with all your friends and family. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. I'll see you soon, everyone. Bye-bye.